It's really strange how life can bring you exactly where you need to be, even if at first it didn't feel like where you wanted to be. When I left Montreal almost 3 years ago, I had been disconnected from myself for so long that the idea of staying had started to create dis-ease within me. I was unwell for a while, and I spent so much time being strong and holding it all down for the people who counted on me. At the same time, I had spent years trying to create peace with a person in my life who was absolutely committed to conflict. And no matter how hard I tried, no matter how much disrespect I tolerated without defending myself, no matter how much I stayed silent, no matter how much space I gave for things to calm down, they never really did. And even though that dynamic wasn't the reason I left, a part of me really believed that creating physical distance might actually calm things down. I was hoping that removing myself from the environment would create space for clarity, for understanding, and that maybe my willingness to sacrifice so much in order to preserve peace would eventually be understood for what it was. But eventually I had to accept one of the hardest truths of all. You cannot control another person's wounds, projections, or choices. You can only learn how to stop abandoning yourself in the process of trying to manage them. And maybe that was the lesson life had been trying to teach me all along. For years I had kept trying to create harmony in a dynamic that was never truly interested in peace. And because I didn't fully understand what I was dealing with at the time, I thought that patience and kindness and understanding, distance, non-reaction, silence, that all of it would eventually calm things down. Instead, it taught me one of the hardest yet most valuable lessons of my life. The lesson is this: you cannot create peace with a person who is committed to conflict and to misunderstanding you. Every single thing you do and say will be misinterpreted to match the narrative that the person has created in their minds. There's just nothing you can do about it. So at the time, I made one of the hardest decisions I had ever made in my life. I left by myself. It wasn't because I wanted to abandon my life, my children, or myself, but because I knew that staying inside that energy would eventually affect all of us in a negative way. And strangely enough, what felt painful at first ended up creating growth for everyone involved. My older children became more independent. One of them even told me a while back, "Mom, I grew up more in the last 6 months than I did in the past 3 years. And I want to thank you." Wow. Hearing that healed something inside of me because, as mothers, we carry so much guilt when we choose ourselves, even when choosing ourselves is also choosing what's healthiest for everyone else. It's just something we carry. But my bravery showed me that worrying about this would be a waste of energy. And my youngest, he got to experience something different. 2 completely different ways of living. One built around social pressure, survival, routine, and constant hustle. And another one built on sunlight, freedom, nature, presence, community, movement, and joy. And I think there's a lot of value in experiencing both. Because life is about learning to balance all those things. Learning how to take care of what matters without forgetting yourself. So here I am, back in Montreal. Ironically, I thought that I was arriving into spring, but somehow the remnants of winter are still here. But strangely enough, I'm okay. I'm more than okay, actually. Since I've been back, my life has been busier than it's been in so many years. But it's a different kind of busy, not the kind that drains me. It's the kind that lights me up. I barely even had time to transition after arriving. It honestly felt like life picked me up from one reality and doop, dropped me into the next one like, "Okay, girl, go. And it almost feels like I never left. It's really strange. So somehow, because I stayed in the flow instead of forcing outcomes, everything started falling into place consistently with constant little miracles, like the right people showing up, unexpected support, new opportunities, doors opening at the exact moment they needed to. And within 1 month of being back, I reconnected with parts of myself I hadn't touched in years. I launched a new business. I returned to singing. I'm stepping back into acting. I found work connected to health and wellness, which aligns so well with who I really am and where I see myself going. It feels like the perfect restart, but this time an aligned one. And maybe that's what this whole journey was about. It wasn't an escape, it wasn't running away, it was a return to me, a return to myself. And now it's a return to my babies.
Baby,